Welcome back to It Takes a Universe. I'm Ashley and I'm an actress here in Los Angeles, and today I'm going to take you through the process of booking a commercial, start to finish, from getting the very first audition notice to seeing the actual spot come out. That being said, let's get into it. I got the first audition request on Casting Networks on October 13th, and the tape was due on October 16th. When you get an audition notice, the first thing you want to look at is the dates. Are you free for the callback? Are you free for the shoot date? Are you free for the fitting dates? Nothing pisses off a client, casting, an agent more is when you are put on Avail for a project, or if you're booked and then you tell them you're not free. Okay? You need to be very much aware of that as soon as you get the audition. So as soon as you find out that you're not free, if you're going out of town, if you're working on another set, you need to email your agent immediately to book out. So always look at the dates. Now that you overlook the dates, you should be able to confirm or decline your audition ASAP. You want to help out casting so they know who's coming in and at what time. So either accept or decline right away. It makes your agent's life easier and makes the casting director's life easier. Now, after we look at the dates, we're gonna go ahead and accept it if you're free and look at the description. So here for e.l.f.'s Cosmetics, the description was little bit of quirk or character, just not the most put together or best sense of style, not too over the top. Think Pam from The Office or Melissa McCarthy in Bridesmaids. And the wardrobe says casual clothes, not the most put together or best fashion sense, but not over the top. You're going to a support group for fellow lip oil / palm addicts. There's the description. That's awesome when clients actually give you real actors from actual shows or films, so you can reference the kind of vibe or style they're going for. One thing I also recommend outside of reading all of the instructions and the description is researching that client and seeing what their past commercials and ads look like so you can get even more of a vibe. So now that you have looked over the description, looked over the instructions, did a little research on past advertisements, now you can decide what you're gonna wear. I simply wore a tank top and jeans. Simple. Not really fashionista, just a little plain Jane. Another pro tip is just my humble opinion is to avoid miming if you can. Since this was a lip oil product, I actually just use a chapstick to do the self-tape, to do the callback. I wasn't just miming with air. Maybe others did, and that's fine, but I just think to be more realistic and grounded, and sometimes the casting and the client has to see it exactly the way it's gonna be shot, use an actual product, of course. Do not use a competing brand, so either cover the label with your finger or actually use a piece of paper to cover if it's a different brand. But yes, if it's chapstick, try to use chapstick. If you're drinking something, actually drink something. If I'm eating things, I hate miming eating. I'll eat some nuts, I'll eat some chips, something. Pro tip, if you can, try not to mime. So for me, they asked for 3 takes and I did it only 3 times. Literally, I just had a clear intention of what I was thinking about. So the first one, they wanted it to do our interpretation. So it was just purely instinctual for me for that take. The second take, I believe, was they wanted apprehensive. So I was truly envisioning that it was an actual alcohol anonymous, I'm truly addicted to something bad feeling. And the third one I think was a little more scared. Sorry, this is over a month ago. It was a little more scared. So I kind of leaned in to that of oh God, I have to tell my group of friends this thing and maybe they won't accept me if I tell them this thing. So that just works for me, is having exactly what I'm thinking about in mind and playing it in that kind of world. Personally, I don't spend a lot of time on commercial auditions. I wouldn't really stress them. I personally started booking consistently and more often when I stopped caring, because you have to realize it is a look. Yes, being a little funny can help, but it is a look. It's, the client has a little puzzle, and if you fit the piece, all the girls in this spot, some were white and some were black and some were Asian, you're filling, the puzzle of different pieces. So just keep that in mind. Yes, it's maybe some of your funny skills, but also it's a look. So I try not to stress about it. So they asked for 3 takes. I only did it 3 times. I would recommend for commercials, of course, up to you, not going over 5 takes. Stop. Just stop. You know? They don't know what they want. They'll know it when they see it. Just forget about it. Okay?
I do it a lot. Sometimes right when I wake up. Is that bad? But today mine ran out. I usually have like 3 backups, and I just felt so lost, so alone. I don't want to live like that. I can't. Not anymore. Oh, is this the new lip oil? Wow.
That being said, me only doing 3 takes, not caring about it in the sense of like not getting attached to it, not setting any expectations, then the client was like, we loved it. Here's a callback. Okay, so for the Zoom callback, I did not remember to record this because I don't know. I am not negative, but I never expect to book a commercial. I just, when it happens, it happens. I'm like, whatever's meant for me is meant for me. So I wasn't even thinking about recording the Zoom callback. But essentially, I did a little reenactment for you guys. But essentially, I got into the Zoom callback. I was introduced to the director and the writers, and they were cracking up. And they allowed us to do different takes. So they were giving me different direction. Okay, do it the way you want to do it a little scared, do it apprehensive, do it this way. And personally, with an improv comedic background, and since this had a script, I was adding a different button each take. And that's kind of what was cracking them up. So for callbacks, they're really looking for, can you take direction? Do you, maybe, you know, for commercials have some improv, can you change it up and not do the same thing every time? And also your personality, do we want to book this client and be on set with them 8 to 12 hours? And also, like I said earlier, the puzzle piece. So yes, they directed me different ways to do it. I added a different improv button on each one. And we'll take a look at my little Zoom reenactment since I forgot to record.
Please let us know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Okay, lately I've been doing it without even noticing.
Do you realize you're doing it now? Well, I can't even find mine. I'm so scared. What am I supposed to do when I'm like even slightly bored now?
You shouldn't have to live like an animal. Here. There is a God.
So after the Zoom callback, I felt pretty confident since the client was cracking up and the casting director was cracking up. Again, like, never get too attached to a project or set any sort of expectation, but you can also be confident in yourself. So I texted my agent, if I'm not at least placed on Avail, I'll be heavily insulted. So the next morning I found out that I was on Avail. And just in case you don't know the casting process for commercials, typically speaking, a casting director will post a role for a commercial and get nearly 5,000 submissions. Then they have to go through all of that and maybe pick 50 people to bring in to audition. And then the callback is half of those 50 people, so 25-ish people. And then to be placed on Avail, typically it's 2 people, but 2 to 3 people that the clients really like, and then they decide the one. So then I was booked later that evening, and I was the one for this role. So super grateful. Just wanted to explain that whole casting, booking a commercial process. Now, 2 things I want to mention in case you're curious. If you have a callback and you're like, hey, have I been placed on Avail or not? Typically speaking, you will find out later that day, because after they have the whole session of doing the callbacks with everyone, they're literally like, okay, who's this, who's that? If it's not that day, it's the next day, typically. Either the same day as the audition or the callback later in the day, or the following day. I would say if you were not placed on Avail that night or the next day, most likely you have not been put on Avail. Now, the other scenario I wanted to talk about is if you are placed on Avail but you don't book. I would say 99% of the time, if you are placed on Avail but they chose someone else, casting and the client will not tell you. They will not tell you you've been released. It's really annoying. I feel like that should be a requirement, but it's just the way the industry is. So you can ask your agent to check in with the casting to be like, hey, haven't been released. But I would just assume that if you're not getting any information, if the fitting day passed and then once the shoot day passed, you were released. But that's just the name of the game. For some projects, the client will ask you to get a manicure. Why? Because typically you are going to be holding the product. They're going to be getting a close-up shot. So you do have to pay out of pocket first to get the manicure or pedicure. Maybe you're doing flip-flops, but the client will reimburse you. Just always take a picture right away and send it to your agent so they can invoice the client. So this is just for the close-up shots to make sure it looks nice. We're holding the lip oil. I've done car commercials where I'm holding the car key. They sent me an option for nails and hair. They liked my hair as is, so they just put my headshot. And then for my nails, they had asked me to do a clean and buffed light or no polish look. For this specific fitting, they asked me to bring vintage tees or long sleeve shirts, graphics or logos to avoid, overalls worn in sneakers. So for the fitting, a pro tip I would advise is when the wardrobe stylist is asking you to bring things, pack that shit in your car the night before. Okay, because I've done it where like, okay, it's fine. I wake up and then I'm like reading the email, then I'm gathering the things as I'm trying to get ready. Screw the panic. Put it in your car the night before. So she asked me to bring some shirts and some shoes, make sure they're steamed, make sure they're ironed. I have a specific wardrobe bag that I have my clothes hanging on from some hangers. I put my shoes in a duffel bag. You can get a shoe bag. I think Amazon has them. And just put it in your trunk the night before. It's one less thing for you not to think about the morning of or possibly forget. That's my pro tip. Put it in your car. Hey guys, I am on my way to the wardrobe fitting for the commercial. So this is where I'll be trying on a bunch of different outfits. They'll be taking pictures of me, sending it to the client for them to approve so they know which outfit they want me to wear for the commercial. Sometimes if needed, they'll like, seam something or stitch something to my exact measurements to make sure it fits just right. So off we go. Okay, so I just parked and I'm going to bring my wardrobe bag, my shoes that they asked me to bring, parking ticket, and walk over. So anytime you are heading to set or a fitting, always designate like maybe 20 minutes, depending, 30 minutes, just to park, walk over, sign into the building, get to the elevator, get to the correct floor. Okay, you guys, I am here. I just parked, so I'm gonna go ahead and walk over because it's a huge map. Elevator. Alright guys, I am all done with the fitting. I tried on more outfits than I filmed just because, busy, and tomorrow we'll be on set. So I am interested to see which outfit they choose. My character is supposed to be this disheveled person who is addicted to the lip oil product. So till tomorrow. And for fittings, you do get a separate rate for that. So you get the day rate that you're shooting, you get that usage fee for them to use it for the time that's listed in the contract for this one. It's just for the duration, I believe, of this product until they release a new product, and then you get a fitting fee. For my fitting, it was just 1 hour, so super efficient. Hey guys, so I just got the call sheet and I have 3 different scripts of dialogue. So this happens a lot in the industry, or you're getting the call sheet usually less than 24 hours than when you're needed to be on set. So that's just how it is. I don't agree with it, but that's just the way it goes. And I'm going to memorize these 3 scripts and maybe add some of my own improv comedic buttons at the end of it before I go to bed, because you always want to be prepared and know all of your lines to show the client, like, hey, you chose me, I'm a professional, I do not waste your time, I know you are on a schedule, so I'm going to have these down packed. So that is what I'm going to do now, is memorize these 3 scripts, and then we'll head to set tomorrow, 8 a.m. call time. Good morning, guys. So it is 6 a.m. They wanted me to have the nails did, so we got that manicure, and they wanted me to have clean hair, so I just washed it. And by time I get there, should be dry, so they have the cleanest of the clean hair. Because it's Los Angeles, regardless of how close something might be, I still like to leave like an hour before my call time, just because, you know, traffic or maybe like a last minute accident, people driving in LA are crazy. And like I said, for the fitting, sometimes like you have to park far, you have to walk over, you have to like check in, get to the elevator, find the floor, find the suite, like depending on where the shoot is. So you just always want to be prepared. So yes, we're gonna be leaving for set shortly. I'm gonna have some oatmeal. They should have, you know, the catering for breakfast, but I always like to eat just in case. So see you soon. Okay guys, before I head to set, the client wants me to fill out wrap book, which is basically all the paperwork I need to fill out in order to get paid. I guess it's 50-50. Most of the time it's actually physical paperwork that you fill out on set, but some are trying to be like in the future and have it digital only, and they have you fill it out via wrap book. So I'm gonna set that up prior to leaving. Okay guys, I am headed to set now. Pro tip, if you ever have lines, dialogue, or script you need to memorize for a commercial, you can always say all the lines into like the voice memo on your phone, and then you can play it in your car as you're driving to set, just as a little refresher if you need. So off I go, and see you soon. So for this spot, like we saw in the audition notes, this is a lip oil emotional support group, so we're all addicted to this product. There were 6 of us total, 5 of the girls who are addicted to it, and then the actual mentor, I guess, speaker, moderator, therapist vibe. So I didn't shoot everyone's coverage, but essentially, since there were 6 of us in this circle, we had to have a different setup and lighting for all 6 of us in the circle. Just wanted to say that.
Hello!
Okay, so makeup is done. A nice natural look with the hair. This is the full look. We got some platform boots, teal overalls, graphic tee, plaid shirt. My full fit. This was the breakfast setup that I had before going into the makeup and hair. We got some snacks over here. Right now, we got
Not holding the pants up there.
doing the audio. They're doing a calf patch here. mic, like here, and it's going all through my leg, and I'm putting it on my leg now.
Safety is our number one priority. We have to be safe. We have to look after each other. If something feels unsafe, if you feel uncomfortable doing something, come find me. We'll figure out a solution. There's nothing more important than your safety.
We are here. We are here. They just, those are the clients right there. They're just lighting us and framing us. Hey girl. Just behind the scenes. Posing. The art department set it up here. Hello. The makeup doing last touches. We got the boom over there. Got the lights up here. And the camera guys setting up. So we were just there, but they are changing the lighting. Different shot, different camera lens, because there's 5 of us. It's different angles, different lighting. Erica, and sometimes lunch looks. Wardrobe will give you a different shirt or a robe in case, so you're safe, so you don't spill lunch on your wardrobe. So now you know. So they're setting up in that back corner over there. Post lunch, must get touch-ups. So this is a different shot after lunch, getting different people's coverage.
Can we say my name now?
112, take 1, marker.
How'd everyone do today?
I thought I lost mine, but it was in my pocket.
I actually ran out of my lip oil today.
I am so sorry.
What about your car stash?
Gone. My lips are so dry.
Will you try, what about your car stash, like interrogating her?
No.
They'll still just go from there, goes from that, so you already have it out of your pocket. Yeah. You won't give up feet over the line, actually ran out of lip oil today?
I actually ran out of my lip oil today.
I'm so sorry.
What about your car stash?
Gone. My lips are so dry.
And then let's try that one more time where you're like scared to do it.
I can't do it.
One more. Scared when you ask that question.
There we go, still rolling.
Action.
I actually ran out of my lip oil today.
I'm so sorry.
What about your car stash?
Gone. My lips are so dry.
Yeah, but that's
Okay guys, it is 6:10 p.m. So that was a 10-hour day. That is a wrap. I will show you the commercial spot or the TikTok spot once it is edited. Until then.
Thank you for coming. Oh, hi, welcome. Hi. How'd everyone do today?
It was a 5 times before lunch kind of day for me.
Lately, I've been doing it without even realizing. Do you know you're doing it right now?
I actually ran out of my lip oil today.
I'm so sorry.
What about your car stash?
Gone. My lips feel so dry.
I got you. Here. You know, you can get 5 from e.l.f. for the price of one of those bougie ones. Seriously? We're gonna need some more chairs.
So as you can see, this is the final spot. Kayla had a line that was completely taken out, and one of my lines was completely taken out. That's just the way of the game. It was cut for time. It was probably over a minute and it was too long than they wanted it to be because this is catered to like TikTok, Instagram Reels, so they want to keep it short and tight. So that just happens sometimes. So if you haven't watched my commercial terms video about the day rate and the usage, this matters here, right? So Kayla's line was completely cut out, right? Luckily, she's still in the spot with her face and her expressions, but let's say she wasn't. In that scenario, she would only get the day rate and not the usage buyout because she wasn't in the final product, the final edit. So just kind of want to clarify that. As far as payment, typically commercials, I would say on average, maybe pay you within 30 days. Can take longer, sometimes quicker. Since this one was digital through Wrapbook, it was way quicker than waiting for the check in the mail.